A spirited Wales make Ireland work hard for a bonus point win. My name's Mark. Let's talk rugby. Got to give Wales a lot of credit for their performance in this one. They really did make Ireland work hard, and they weren't too far off potentially causing an upset there as well, but pretty much in line with what we thought might happen in the run-up. I know a lot of people were predicting, Ireland to win well, given how Wales, got beaten well by the likes of England and France, and Ireland doing so well against England 2 weeks ago. But I said it, 2 weeks off, Ireland find it hard to get going again and get back into their groove. They kind of need a hit out and changes as well. Kind of same impact for Ireland too. But again, I think you need to give a lot of credit to the Welsh performance in that game as well. It wasn't a case of Ireland not, I don't think Ireland were like too far away from being close to maybe the form that they had against England, but they were that little bit off on everything, and Wales were compounding that by forcing errors, and also I thought Wales went really well in the scrum as well, and at the breakdown, the way they handled tackle area as well. But let's talk about the game, and then we'll come back and talk about the teams afterwards. So first off, Wales holding onto the ball in the opening couple of minutes before Edwards misjudges a kick in behind and kicks it dead. Scrum back from Ireland, who win a penalty at the set piece, and that was a rare scrum penalty for Ireland in the game. Ireland then go up the line into 22, go through the phases. Stockdale picks a lovely line to go over to score from a pullback pass by MacLeod, converted for 7-0. So brilliant start for Ireland. And it might have been different had, next, Ireland back to the 22. Conan forces his way over from close range, but a Timo check shows that there was a knock-on from Tom O'Toole at the ruck just before that. No try scrum to Wales. Yeah, and if that knock-on hadn't happened, maybe Ireland's trajectory completely changes from there. But you can't be living on ifs and buts all the time. So then an error from Ireland, and Wales have possession back. Lewis Rees-Zammit kicks a lovely 50-22 after a quick line out, and Wales a chance to respond. They get penalty advantage. That comes to nothing. So Dan Edwards makes a 7-3 from the tee, and that came from, I think, an error from MacLeod, kind of threw a bit of a wild pass, and it ended up basically swinging the momentum towards Wales. Wales then winning penalties. They opt to tap. They go to Carey, close out, but Ireland managed to actually hold them up over the line. Wales, though, really in the game at this stage. They continue to attack after Keller gets pinged for not hooking at a scrum, but Ireland get over the ball to win a penalty. We then have Doak on temporarily for Gibson Park, who wants to go for an HIA. Wales offside and halfway. Crowley puts Ireland on the edge of the 22. Ireland double-digit phases into 22. They worked up to the line. It's unplayable, so it's a 5-meter scrum to Ireland. Conan goes off the back. Ireland then go through a couple of more phases. Gibson Park is back on now. Alex Mann then takes a massive gamble and manages to intercept. Wales recycle and clear, and just some really great defence to hold Ireland on the line there. And Wales last its defence. Ireland during that period had so many chances to potentially start pulling away, but Wales just kind of clamped on and kept them there. Crowley then up the line into 22 as Wales knock on deliberately. Ireland applying pressure close to the line before Crowley goes over to score. Really poor conversion attempt from Crowley, 12 points to 3. And he, again, another poor game off the tee from Crowley today. And, that's something definitely they've got to look at in terms of, getting someone who's more consistent from the tee. But, what are you going to do, really? Crowley's doing well every other pretty much aspect of the role of 10, and we don't really have a kicker. Like, obviously we've got Doak who could kick from 9, but you're not going to drop Gibson Park for him just because he can kick. Wales then hit back before half time, attacking on the edge of the 22 to go wide. Carey is out there. He hands off Balakoon and then shows brilliant pace, sprints over from 25 meters. And even though Balakoon does catch him up, it doesn't matter. His bulk is taking him over the line anyway. Converted for 12-10 half time. And what an absolute try from Carey as well. He's going to be down out on that for the rest of his life. Into the second half, and Ireland started quickly. Gibson Park taps a penalty. Then goes to Byrne, who bends the line, recycled. Conan goes over. Another TMO check on a possible Conan try, but this time it does stand. Converted for 19 points to 10. Wales then to the edge of to the edge of the Ireland defence inside the 22. Josh Adams, he passed into touch with a 2-on-1, and it should have been a try. Like, they've done the hard part, really kind of getting to that edge and getting in behind, but then the pass just not good enough. Then deliberate knock on from Byrne, and Wales go up the line into 22. Ireland held Dowie Lake up in the tackle and turned the ball over. Wales then win a scrum penalty, courtesy of Nicky Smith. They kicked that to the corner. Ireland managed to halt them all. Penalty advantage because Doris is offside. Ellis taps as they come back. Ireland holding them out, but Wales move it infield. They're stopped just short, and then both of them gets over to score, converted for 19 points to 17. Joe McCarthy then with a kick through in the 22. Edwards does really well to ride the tackle at Gibson Park and get back over his own try line before Wales can clear. Ireland attack up the left. Conan to Gibson Park, who goes close. They move it back in field. Great hands from Stockdale, and who was it before him? It was Ringrose. And then Osborne goes over to score the bonus point try. Crowley misses a really easy conversion, 24 points to 7. Tomas Williams then goes to the bin for an infringement in the build-up. That was out in the corner, I'm pretty sure. Ireland then get Balakoon to the edge. Lovely reverse pass by him to Frawley. Chip over the top, close to the line. Wales, again, really good scramble from them, and they managed to clear. Back come Ireland, and when Wales infringe, they point to the post. Crowley makes it a 2-score game, 27-17. Wales now scrum penalty, up the line into the 22, looking for any kind of score to get that losing bonus point. But as they move it, Tyburn turns the ball over. Ireland get it off the field for full time, 27 points to 17. But again, Wales really did put it up to them. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the stats, and then we'll come back and have a chat about each of the teams. So let me refresh it here, and we look at those stats. Right, so first up, possession 56-44. So Ireland went most of the ball, but territory 50-50 doesn't really tell the whole story of it, because first half Ireland had the bulk of the territory. Second half, Wales had the bulk of the territory. And they're talking about in commentary how, they felt like, Wales, after all their effort, might tire, etc. in that second half. But with the game so close, like, they're not going to tire. Just that that whole thing of, you're within a score and potentially there's a win there on the cards, that gives you that energy to keep going. And we saw that from Wales. There's no kind of falling off from them. So on to then attacking minutes, 24.2 from Ireland to 19.8 for Wales. 4 tries to 2. So Ireland, a try every 6 attacking minutes, and Wales a try pretty much every 10 attacking minutes for them. Carries 187 to 118, and that was for 931 meters to 470 meters gained, and 457 to 215. So Ireland slightly better at getting that gain line. Line break sent 7 to 2. Defenders beaten 32 to 11. So Ireland converting about 1 in every 4.5 defenders beaten into a line break, and Wales 1 in every 5.5. Total pass then 219 to 137. Offload 16 to 3. Surprised that many offloads from Ireland as well, because Wales really were trying to target the ball in the tackle. You had the initial tackler, then the second guy would come in trying to prevent that offload. And it meant, a lot of Ireland's offloads weren't all that clean, but it's good to see the ambition there from them. Obviously, not so much ambition from Wales, with just 3. Handling errors then 11 from Ireland, 5 from Wales, and a lot of those coming under pressure. Turnovers conceded 15 to 10. Next then on to kicking. So kicks in play, 21 each, which is kind of on the low side. Kick meters, 412 from Ireland to 639 from Wales. So that tells you, Ireland averaging pretty much 20 meters per kick, and Wales around about 30. And what it tells you is a lot more contestable kicks from Ireland compared to Wales. But Ireland not having the dominance in the air that they did against England, and certainly not getting to as many of the scraps. Short tackling kicks 11 to 7 in favour of Ireland. So, more than 50% of Ireland's kicks were those shorter contestable kicks, whereas just a third of Wales's were. Tackles made then 157 to 240. 11 tackles missed by Ireland and 32 from Wales. So Ireland 88% tackle percentage, much better than we've seen them in the tournament. They were down in 66% against France in the opening game. So that's a big step up from their defence through the tournament. And in Wales, 80% is pretty decent as well. And I thought their scramble was really good too, because you can imagine, that looking back at the other stats, England and France probably broke the line as much as Ireland did in this game, like in terms of missed tackles. But Wales, their scramble again was so good that they kind of prevented a lot of those turning into scores. On to discipline then, penalties conceded 9 for Ireland, 7 from Wales. So both teams keeping it in single figures. Ireland, again, the worry will be that scrum, conceding too many penalties there. That's the next big fix for them. 3 free kicks conceded from Ireland to none for Wales, and 1 offensive penalty each, 8 defensive penalties to 6, and then the 1 yellow card for Thomas Williams. Onto the breakdown then, 136 rucks, 1 from Ireland, 98 from Wales, 3 rucks lost to 4. Then onto ruck speed, so 0 to 3 seconds, 52% for Ireland, 56 for Wales. Rucks 4 to 6 seconds, 36% to 27%, and then slow ball over 6 seconds, 12% to 17%. So again, we're seeing Wales, I think in almost every game, they've had more than 50% of the rucks being quick balls, 0 to 3 seconds. We saw a little bit more from them in terms of making something out of that, but there still feels like there's a lot more to come from them in that area. Breakdown steals then 2 each. We were seeing the likes of like Alex Mann, Byrne, Wainwright, all kind of to the fore at the breakdown. Mauls 1, then 3 each, and 1 maul lost from Wales. On to set piece. Scrums. 4 out of 5 scrums won from Ireland, and 6 from 6 from Wales. But again, it doesn't really tell you the full story there, because Wales definitely on top, and Ireland conceding more penalties at their scrum again. Lineouts then 10 from 10 from Ireland, which is brilliant, perfect, and then 14 from 16 from Wales. So 2 lineouts lost from Wales, and both of those lineouts were stolen by Ireland. So finally, we're seeing Ireland getting up there and competing. We've got some of the best locks at competing. At URC level and Champions Cup level. So it's great to see them actually doing it in Ireland shirt as well. Okay, so those are our stats. Now let's talk about the teams. So we'll start with Wales. Again, I was saying in the preview, hoping for a step forward from Wales. This feels like another definite step forward from them, and a big step at that. On the back of that Scotland performance, they came away from home. They were able to do it in Dublin, and having fallen behind as well, 7-0 at the start, they worked their way back into the game. They couldn't quite get their noses in front, but still they put it up to Ireland for much of the game. Again, defensively, I thought they were really good. Last ditch defense on the line, their ability at the breakdown to disrupt Ireland ball, their ability, going for that, targeting the ball in the tackle, preventing offloads or making offloads kind of awkward for Ireland. There was a lot of offloads that were kind of behind the play, Ireland having to go back and losing ground because of it. Then also quick ball again, doing a little bit more with it. They still have to do, certainly have to work on that side of the game more. Scrum though was excellent, absolutely dominant. Line out, not so much. The line out wasn't as good. Ireland certainly had the edge there. But yeah, overall, I think positives for Wales coming out of this one. Centre partnership, I thought, went well, especially given the form that McCluskey is in at the minute, and Ringrose as well, kind of coming into a bit of form, so they did well there. And then, overall, yeah, I think the Welsh coaches will be pleased with that performance, and it feels like a result is definitely coming for them soon. Whether that's going to happen, in this Six Nations, in the last game against Italy, or whether it's going to be maybe through the summer, we'll have to see. Ireland then, part of it is, it's job done. They got the win. They got the bonus point. And again, we're seeing that the attack is still progressing. There's still little bits to be kind of ironed out there for them. But we are seeing more kind of multi-phase attack, and they'll be able to keep their shape for longer, which definitely bodes well for the future. But it's nowhere near the finished article for them. But that's definitely a big positive. The scrum, still a negative, needs to be worked on, needs to be sorted out. They've got, the coaches now got to take that time. They're not going to sort it before the end of the Six Nations, because even if they go better against Scotland, it's basically just patched up really. And Again, like to talk about personnel being missing, etc., especially on the loose side of the scrum. But for me, that's no real excuse. That they even when we had Porter there as well, the scrum struggled. We gave away a lot of penalties, so it's not just an injury problem for Ireland. It's been a long-term problem, so that definitely needs looking at, needs to be fixed. But as I said, line out went very well. Defense at times, certainly better than we've seen for many of the games in this year's Six Nations. Tyburn again, a nuisance at the breakdown. I'm not sure about the Conan Doris dynamic in the back row, whether that works as well as it could. We've seen both of them carrying well, but we're not really seeing that kind of real tangible results from that. Like, a couple of times they went close to the line. Conan obviously got over for a score as well, but it feels like the balance is maybe a little bit off in that back row. So it'd be interesting to see what to do for Scotland. I've a feeling that we're probably going to see Conan back on the bench for his impact there. Crowley's kicking off the tee is definitely an issue. And I feel like with stuff like that, we've left a lot of points behind in a lot of the games. And for me, it means that even if Scotland can beat France, I don't really see, mathematically Ireland are still in with a chance to win the title, but I honestly don't really see it. I don't think if it comes down to points differential, we're definitely not going to win the title. So it means we're going to have to win by at least one clear point. And then the fact that we, didn't get the bonus point against Italy. We weren't anywhere close enough to get a losing bonus point against France either. Those issues definitely going to come back to bite them. But given where Ireland were, to start of the tournament, a top three finish, is going to be a decent one. And if they can finish second, I think that would be absolutely excellent. But yeah, it feels like the Ireland team, maybe I think jury's still out, honestly, on them, whether that England performance was kind of almost like a last hurrah from a team in decline, or whether it was kind of the shoots of maybe a resurgent Ireland coming back. We've seen evidence, I think, both ways in this game. So it's going to take a few more games to really see where Ireland are. But again, they got the win here. They've done as much as they could against a really resilient Wales team. And now they got to see, can they finish on a real positive against Scotland?